growing up, bearing in mind, growing up, you understand, like we've had a lot of people die from Tottenham. You understand what I'm saying to you? Like we had Cynthia Jarrett, Joy Gardner, Roger Stilfester, and then Mark was like the fourth person. But not every single...
By the hands of the police.
By the hands of the police.
La ilaha illallah, revert, I'm getting in routine. I walk down wearing a jewel, but no, this isn't in my jeans. From the streets to the Deen.
Assalamu alaikum, people. Welcome back to another episode of Streets to Deen. Don't forget to leave a comment down below, like, share, subscribe, all of that. Assalamu alaikum, akhi.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
How's it going, my bro? You right, yeah?
Alhamdulillah, I'm all good, bro, man.
This one's long overdue, my bro, man. But alhamdulillah, it's good to have you in the studio, isn't it?
Likewise, man. It's an honor to be here, bro.
For those who don't know, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah. My name's Abdul Kareem. I'm from Tottenham, North London. Yeah. That's where I was born and raised. Alhamdulillah.
And how old are you, akhi?
How
old are you?
I'm going to be 41 in October.
Inshallah. Let's go, my bro, man. And what's your background? Like, what's your ethnicity?
Yeah, so my mom's Mauritian and my dad's from Sierra Leone.
Okay. So mixed race, yeah. Alhamdulillah. Cool, yeah. Let's get straight into it, my bro, man. Tell us what it was like growing up in Tottenham, childhood days, primary school days. What's your earliest memories?
So I'm from a place called Boredom Farm. Growing up in Boredom Farm for me, I mean, like we grew up in like a close-knit community. Everyone knew everyone. My community, like everyone was very kind of protective over each other, and for like many reasons, you understand. More so because of the harassment that we had with the police and stuff like that. So we just grew to just protect each other and look out for each other. You get me? So it was quite. And my estate as well is kind of designed in such a way that like the estate was on like concrete stilts. You understand? So like a lot of all of the flats was above ground. So basically, we could ride around on our bikes around the whole estate. You understand? Without having to touch the actual ground where the cars are and all that. So it was quite fun, man. Quite fun growing up in Border Farm, and you know, Mum done the best she could to raise us and instill good values and morals, and you know, it was yeah, man. We had a good upbringing. Again, we never really needed for anything.
So it was a single parent household, or was your dad around? What was the situation?
So I mean, my dad was around, but like we got like other brothers and sisters from Hackney at the time.
Okay.
So he was kind of back and forth between houses. Understand what I'm saying to you? But more time he was over there in Hackney, like with my brothers and sisters and that.
Okay, fair enough. So I'm guessing you went to primary school in the local area.
Yeah, so our nursery and primary school was on the estate, so everything
on the
was
actual estate.
Yeah, the estate was kind of like a self-contained estate. We had like the laundrettes there, we had grocery stores, community centres, nurseries, primary school, everything was there.
Yeah.
So we literally didn't have to come off the estate for anything. You understand? So yeah, like went nursery on Border Farm, junior school on Border Farm.
Nice. And what type of student would you say you was? Was you like a funny kid, naughty kid? Was you into your sports? Like, what was your thing?
I'll say I was one of that the popular kids.
Okay.
Understand? Got into a lot of trouble.
Okay.
For just being boys. You understand what I'm saying to you? Like messing around, like just messing around with my friends and stuff like that. But alhamdulillah, like we got through it.
Yeah. But I mean, where did that You saying you got into a lot of trouble from like an early age. Was that out of boredom or was that out of just competitiveness? Where did that come from?
I don't know, man. I think it's just boys being boys, man.
Yeah.
And I don't think the teachers were the teachers done the best they could, but I reckon it's just boys just being boys. You understand?
Yeah.
And then probably a little bit of boredom, found the work easy. So obviously, like when you find the work easy, you get bored or you get distracted or you start messing around. But Borderwood Farm was like Borderwood Farm Junior School was like a wild primary school, man.
Yeah.
Like kids just misbehave, you get me? Regularly, because it was on the estate, kids were regularly like running out of school and trying to go home.
Yeah.
They got upset with the teacher, you understand? And then, you understand, like, I've done it before, you get me? And like your mum's like slapping you sort of thing and bringing you back home, bringing you back to the school and stuff like that, you get what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's just...
Oh, yeah, that's definitely a different dynamic, man, because I can't imagine going to school where I live kind of thing. So it's basically like the teachers know the parents know the everyone knows everyone. So it's like, it's all self-contained.
Exactly.
So sort of transitioning into secondary school, was it the same situation, same group of friends?
No, so because a lot of the schools in Haringey were they had like bad reputations, you understand, like D&K or Northumberland Park. Like my mum didn't want us to go to these schools, you understand what I'm saying to you? She tried to get us to a school that could give better education and just wouldn't influence our behaviour, you understand? Considering, you get me, like we're obviously coming from farm and it had this reputations for whatever it did, you get me? So we got sent to a school in Winchmore Hill, which is like Enfield.
Okay.
Alhamdulillah, it was alright. It was a good school, but again, because I was kind of built a certain way, you understand? I ended up getting kicked out of school early, man.
What year?
For fighting, year 8.
So
yeah, man, got into it with some little youngster, man, and you know what it is? We're playing softball on the field. You get me? So obviously, like I think I've thrown the ball and he's bat it, and then the ball's like hit me in my head. But obviously, it's by accident. You understand? But the kid's laughing. You understand? And obviously, as a youngster, he starts laughing. Everyone starts laughing.
Disrespect, yeah.
So obviously, like you're embarrassed. You get what I'm saying? So obviously, we got back to the changing rooms now. And I just kind of moved to him. You get me? But then like he exaggerated it and said like, yeah, like a man backed out a knife and all this stuff. You get what I'm saying? Where the story didn't necessarily go the way he said, you get. But anyway, I ended up getting expelled, and didn't really get back into mainstream school from there. You get me? Like,
oh, swear. So you didn't even go to like an alternative school, nothing.
No, I went to like an alternative provision.
Okay,
but them things, they ain't really set up to like help a child, man. You get me? Like they just take money off the government, man. You get me? And to just pass time. You get me? Like I didn't. When I used to go there, I used to see that the teachers didn't really care.
Yeah.
I kind of stopped going there after a while, you understand? But obviously my mum, she's thinking that she's sending me there and I'm going there in the mornings. But when I see that they ain't really trying to, you understand, like they're
not trying.
Yeah, you understand what I'm saying to you? So I kind of just stopped going and just started linking like my friends that were out of school as well. And, you know, like, situations like that, obviously, like, you know, they say idle work, the devil makes work for idle hands, you understand? So obviously if you're out of school, you're not doing that and you just leads to other things again, man. That's what ended up happening. Just kind of, but when I think, so I got kicked out around about, I think like 14, I think it was. I think when I was about, I think 15, so I went to college still for about a year, done leisure and tourism. But then once I finished with that, I didn't go back into education again. That was it. I kind of just, just went to do other stuff.
Okay. So you was in and out of school basically, in a sense, like when you was getting older kind of thing, but more time out of school, in school.
Yeah.
So talk us through what you'd end up getting up to now that you're out of school, now that you don't really have to be in classroom, this and that. What would you and your friends get up to?
So that's when all like, were introduced to like smoking and stuff like that. And then just silly stuff, man. Going. I used to go to my school a lot because I miss my friends and that. You understand? So after school, I would still go and link my friends. You understand? And come home with them. You understand what I'm saying to you? Because obviously, I think most kids could agree that like your secondary school years were like the best years. And even though I wasn't in there for long, but it's like I had the time of my life. You understand what I'm saying to you? I had loads of friends, and like I said, I was upset, like proper cried, and like when I was told that I couldn't come back to school. And for a little while, you get me. I used to go to the school and come home with my friends and stuff like that. And during the days, you get me, it's like I never used to do much. You understand? You get me? Like I said, I'd link my friends. Some of my friends started smoking, so I kind of got introduced to smoking and stuff like that. And then that was it, really. We never really spent the day doing much. You understand? But obviously, as we're getting older, like we're on the streets, and it kind of just led to like doing other things. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Okay. So talk us through the events from you being out of school and, you know, you going to college for a year. Like, what events actually then ended up leading you to finding Islam kind of thing? Because I don't think I'd ask actually, but like, was your household fairly religious, or you never really spoke about that type of stuff?
In terms of like my household, like my dad, like we grew up as so from my early ages up to like probably like late teens. You get me? Like we grew up as like Rastas, so we follow like the Rasta theory.
Proper.
Yeah. Well, like for me, it was like I was proper until I got to like mid-teens, late teens. You get me? And then I kind of, because my dad wasn't really enforcing the way of life like that.
Yeah.
Per se, you get me? Like I just had dreads, you get me? But I was just doing what I wanted to do. You understand what I'm saying to you? And he wasn't really about to really enforce anything like that anyway, you see me? So but alhamdulillah, you know, like he instilled like some good values, made me like very God conscious, and like I always believed in God from a youngster. You understand what I'm saying to you? And
So could you explain what Rastafarianism is? That people don't understand.
Bro,
like,
to be honest,
principles.
I couldn't really tell you, but I know that like their way of life is like they don't eat pork.
Okay.
They don't eat pork. Yeah, bro. To be honest, I couldn't really tell you. That's why when it got to when I got to a certain age, I didn't. You understand? I just kind of just done my own thing. But alhamdulillah, you know, my mum, she's born Muslim.
Oh.
And I mean, my story is a little bit unique in the sense that I've always had Islam in my life, you understand, but just didn't recognize it for what it was. Because like I said, like I've mentioned in previous interviews, when we would go to like my family's house on my mum's side, like they would do different things to like normal households, in terms of like when my mum would go to like other friends' houses or family members' houses, again, like from like our other side of the family, like, you know, like they would eat with their hands, like they would dress different, they would pray, I would see them praying, but just didn't recognize it as praying at the time, you get what I'm saying? And I've always known them to be like that, obviously growing up, you understand? And to me, I didn't see it as strange. I just knew that obviously when we went to that side of the family, these are the stuff they done, but it was normal to me. Understand what I'm saying to you? So it's only as I got older now, and I'm on the road, but this is like years now, you understand?
Or 20s?
Like okay. Understand, like years has gone by now. You get me? I've just been doing what I've been doing on the roads and stuff like that. The whole street life, you get me, started to get a bit strenuous, you get what I'm saying? Because there's a lot that's expected of you.
In what sense? What, to keep up the facade, or the
you understand?
Rip the ends kind of thing.
You understand
like,
what I'm saying to you? Like all of that, you get what I'm saying? And you know, it is a lot of kids, you understand, like they don't necessarily want to be like that, but they feel like this is what's expected of them, you get me? So and you know what it is, you know, like sometimes you get me, like the parents get blamed for like their kids' actions and stuff like that. And you know that like parents do the best that they can. But as soon as a child goes outside, they're easily influenced by what's going on outside, you get me? Because they feel like if they're not a part of that, it's like kill or be killed. You understand? So it's like if you don't join this, then you're the prey sort of thing. You understand what I'm saying to you? So a lot of kids, they're good kids. They're coming from good homes. You understand? Like their parents has raised them to be good, respectable kids, but they just feel like if I go outside, you get me, and I'm just this goody two-shoe sort of thing. You understand? Then I'm gonna be taken as a victim.
Yeah.
So a lot of kids just end up going down the wrong road, you get me, because they feel like this is where the respect lies, or this is where I'm going to be most protected when I'm outside. And that's what the saying was. It was the same for me, you could say. You understand what I'm saying to you? Because like, even like growing up in Brotherhood Farm, obviously we had this infamous reputation for like the riots in '85 when a lady named Cynthia Jarrett was killed, and an officer was killed on our estate as well. So for that
retaliation.
As retaliation. So obviously for that reason, our Tottenham Brotherhood Farm just had this infamous reputation as like being like a no-go area. You understand what I'm saying to you? So obviously you growing up underneath that banner, you kind of grow up with the expectation like you've got to live and like kind of
uphold that status kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying to you? So that's what a lot of kids are.
But how do you go about that then? So let's say, is it a case where if you come across people from different areas, you have to show that you're tougher than them, or like how do you uphold that sort of reputation as a young kid on the streets?
No, it wasn't necessarily like when we was growing up. It wasn't necessarily about area. Like it wasn't postcodes for us. Like when we was growing up, you understand? It was just about the generation before you. Understand? Like they had a reputation, so you coming up underneath them, you get me? Like you got to uphold that same reputation. You understand? You get me? And you can't move like you're weak or you're soft, or you understand? Like you got to just understand that you have to show that you're about this thing.
Okay.
And it wasn't necessarily against any other use. It's just, you know, like the generation before you had their rude boys and all that. And obviously, this is what you inspired to be like. You understand? Because you saw as a youngster, those are the people that's getting respect. So you're seeing that and thinking, no, you get me? Like I want that same respect. So you inspire to be the same. You understand? But then what happens is you come up worse. You understand? And then like even like with these postcodes today, you understand? It's just kids misinterpreting like situations that happened before them. You get me? Like for instance, you had a man from like Tottenham that had issues with man from Hackney because of personal issues between them. But then a youngster now would not really hear the full story. They'll just hear that man from Tottenham, man from Hackney, they're beefing. So then they automatically grow up with this, like their man is from Hackney, I don't like them. Understand? Not really knowing. If you sat down or spoke to people, you would find out that that's not necessarily the case where man from Tottenham and man from Hackney are beefing. It's particular man from Tottenham and particular man from Hackney had an issue. Understand? And then that's what's happened for and that's why things are the way it is now. You understand? Because kids are overhearing stories, implementing what they're hearing, and it's just gone so crazy now where kids ask you where you from, you say you're from the wrong area, and they want to kill you now. Understand what I'm saying to you? But it's our fault as well, man. You get me? It's our fault as well, man. But you know, alhamdulillah, now that we're Muslim, you get me? It's we just got to put that effort into just try and change the narrative, man.
And definitely, man. Like we're talking about the problems right now and everything that we see. Inshallah, towards the end of this, I want us to sort of touch upon solutions or things we can do to make the situation better. You know, for the youngers and for society in general, innit? But so you're saying, growing up with that reputation, growing up on the streets, he was a Rasta, but Islam was always sort of part of your life. So what then made you take that leap, or made you more sort of intrigued into be like, right, you know what, there's something to this?
So you see when you're, like I said, like a lot of the youngsters, like when they're on the roads doing what they're doing, it becomes strenuous. And for me, it became strenuous again because obviously I was loyal to something that didn't really have no love back for me, bro. Understand? Like I said, like you're growing up and you're looking at these rude boys that are older than you and you want to be just like them. Till you start doing certain things and these rude boys are recognizing like yo, a cold Jew, like start partying with, man. So obviously you thinking, like I'm that man now. But then when you start linking with these youths, you start seeing that things are not really cracked up to where it be. You understand? They're not really loyal. They don't really care for you. You understand what I'm saying to you? They want you to do things for them. You understand? Like, you feel like you've got to uphold this reputation now because you built a name for yourself. So you're doing things that you don't necessarily want to be doing. You understand? Like, you're robbing people, or, you know, you're extorting people, or you're just doing certain things that you don't necessarily want to be doing, but you're doing because you don't really know no better, or you feel like you have to do it. So for me, it just started getting strenuous, man. You understand? Plus I witnessed a lot of things, you understand, where, you know, I could have been killed a couple of times. You understand? There was a time I've come out of dance with my people there, man. We've got into it with some yardies, and our cars put, like, basically so we've got into it with some yardies. Our cars pulled up. We've come out looking for someone, but they've kind of run off and disappeared. But then they've come up and snuck up behind us in a car, and then just opened up their door and, like, fired a shot point blank. So, like, basically, I say about 2 meters from where I am. You understand? So they've opened the door and fired a shot.
Yeah.
And I've just spun and dropped to the ground. You understand? And I've kind of jumped up, checked myself. Alhamdulillah, again, like I didn't get touched. And so there's a lot of stuff like this that man was going through. You get me? Gone to a rave. I've seen like man get killed and stuff like that. So obviously, and bearing in mind these times, you get me, like, I got a lot of things going on. You understand? You get me, that I have to be responsible for. You understand what I'm saying to you? So yeah, it was getting strenuous, man. So I was kind of subconsciously looking for, like, a way out. You understand?
Yeah.
So I remember a friend of mine, like a close friend of mine, may Allah bless him. His name is Mickey Blues. He's known as Shoaib now. One night we was on the blocks late, and we were speaking, and he started speaking about Islam.
So he was a Muslim?
He's Muslim, yeah.
Okay.
So he started speaking about Islam, and it was just very intriguing. You get me? Bearing in mind, you get me, like, my family's always tried to give me dawah, but it's just I thought I was some rude boy. You get me? I just, like, what you like talking about? Like, what's this stuff? Like, allow me, sort of thing. Yeah. But then when my friends started talking now, I'm thinking to myself, hold on, like, how do you know about this Islam stuff? You understand? But it's like it was ajib, because when he's talking, it's like everything that he's saying is like it's making sense. And I'm very open-minded like that. You understand? I'm very, like I said, like, my dad kind of made me God conscious. So a lot of the things that he was saying, is like it was kind of connecting and hitting home. You get me? And I became very interested in it. And so we end up leaving the block that night. He was playing Quran. We ended up getting pulled by the police. We get pulled over, searched. They found, like, a couple of little bits and pieces on us. And bearing in mind the Quran's playing in the car at this time, you understand, like, fairly loud. So the police kind of search us and asked, and basically asked his Shoaib, do you have a license? So he's like, no, I don't have a license, whatever. No. They asked me, do you have anything on you that you're not supposed to have? So I goes, yeah, I got bits and pieces. So they search us. They kind of say to my boy, basically, we've just started our shift. Go and park your car up. If we see you again, we're going to end up nicking you. So when I saw that, I'm thinking to myself, like, this is something that you're supposed to get nicked for. Kinda, you understand?
No license, you've got some stuff on you.
You know what I'm saying to you? So but I've mentioned this before still, so I goes to the officer, just being cheeky sort of thing. You get me? Like, yo, like, let me get back my bits and pieces. And it wasn't that a major that you get what I'm saying? But anyway, like, they're giving it back to me. So I'm thinking, what? Anyway, we jumped in the car, and he's like, Allahu Akbar, and all this stuff. So I'm like, right, like what? He's like, Allah's the greatest, whatever, not blah blah blah, and I'm like, what? We just got protected and all that, you know. Like, I just kind of, I don't even know what's going on, but I'm thinking to myself, whatever just happened just now, I'm connecting it to Islam. You get me? Like, we just got protected and all that. So I'm like, yo, like, I wanna be on like what you're on. You get what I'm saying, sort of thing. I think sometime after that, you get me, I followed him to Jummah and took Shahada, alhamdulillah, and like,
how old was he at this time?
I was about like mid-20, I think around early 20s, something like that. Yeah, and even when I took Shahada, you get me, it's like I've told this story so many times and people always find it funny. So basically, where I took Shahada, it was like a like we got different sects in Islam. So obviously, like I've ended up taking my Shahada in this Sufi masjid. So obviously that's my masjid at the time, innit? And then like, we would go back there a couple evenings, pray salah and stuff like that. And I remember like my earliest memories of going to the masjid, like I remember like they were doing some stuff in there that I thought to be as normal. You get what I'm saying? Like they're playing like tambourines and guitars, like all these different stuff, and they dance like and like you got men and women like in there together, like and everyone's dancing and stuff like that. So I remember like I was made to like dance and do all this stuff. You get what I'm saying, bro? Like but at the time I'm thinking to myself,
this is all part of Islam. That's what you're thinking.
It felt awkward to me, but I'm thinking to myself, all right, cool, like this must be a part of Islam, so I'm just gonna go with it.
What's Shoaib saying at these times? Like,
he's there as well. He's doing the same stuff. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
But and bearing in mind, like he was fairly new himself. You get what I'm saying to you? So, I mean, each to their own. But alhamdulillah, you know, a lot of guides in it. So as time went on and I started looking to Islam more, you get me? I started to see that there's certain things that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam done that people necessarily are doing that he didn't do. You get what I'm saying? And so on and so forth. You get what I'm saying? So
and that is like you're saying, man, just going back to when you said, you know, as Muslims we know there's different sects and there's different people that do different things. But the best thing is to just follow the Quran and the Sunnah. You know what I'm trying to say? The Quran, which is the book of Allah, and the Sunnah, which is the way of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You can't go wrong with that. You know what I'm saying?
That's it. And that's what I came to realize. So when I started to learn more about the Sunnah, I started to see that there's certain things that, you know, like I said, people do that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam didn't necessarily do. You understand? And that's when I started to see, okay, you get me? So people kind of certain people make things up, and you know, there's the correct way, and then there's the innovated way. You understand what I'm saying to you? So alhamdulillah, you know, guidance is from Allah, alhamdulillah. Come a long way still.
So would you say, since you became Muslim, it's always been a smooth ride? Like you've always been on your Deen, praying, or have you been through some stuff?
No, man. So when I did take Shahada, obviously, like I was still kind of knees deep in the roads, you could say. You understand what I'm saying to you? But alhamdulillah, I found something that started to make me feel a bit happy. You get me? And then what I noticed is that my old lifestyle started to become even that much more difficult. You understand? And I started to become aware of a lot of things that I wasn't necessarily aware of. Like, for instance, I started kind of falling out with my friends. Like me and my friends, is like there was like this animosity that built between me and my friends that I've grown up with.
Okay.
I've been around. You understand what I'm saying to you? And that caused distance between me and them. You get what I'm saying? Going to raves and all that, and it's just not feeling the same no more. And like I said, I witnessed a man get killed, a Muslim get killed in a dance.
Muslim get killed in a dance?
Yeah.
What was the events which led to that? And did you know him personally?
I knew him personally still, yeah. It's like, so it's a brother from Sa, and I don't know, there was some occasion with him and some bounce at the door, and he's ended up firing some shots and hitting some people accidentally.
Okay.
Apparently. And then some years later, that's kind of caught up with him, and he's ended up getting killed because of it. And then me, I just looked at it like, you know what, like, nah, enough's enough, sort of thing. I was living the same way as him. I mentioned this before, you get me? Like, there was no difference between the way me and him was living, and it could have easily been him watching me murdered. And you understand what I'm saying to you? So alhamdulillah, I took it as an ayah from Allah that, you know, it's time to like kind of change up, you get me?
Yeah.
Because like, what more do you need to see to see that this is not for you? You understand? So alhamdulillah, I kind of started trying to step away, and then like things just became difficult in my jahiliyyah, you get me? Which kind of forced me to just leave it alone. So I remember going to the masjid one night, and I was just proper like upset, crying. I think I sat down with the imam, and this is in AIC Edmonton Masjid. And we're talking just about different things. You understand? And I said to myself, yeah, you know what? Like I'm kind of just done with the roads, man. Like too much was going on. You get what I'm saying? I just kind of just had enough, bro. You understand? So I kind of just dropped it out suddenly. You understand? I started trying to practice now. If I wasn't at home, I was in Edmonton Masjid. Like that was like my second home. Got to the point where I didn't want to leave the masjid, so much so that even like, you know, like they locked the masjid between salah times. I got to know them so well that they would allow us to stay in the masjid, like me and some other brothers, Abdul and Omer and some other brothers that we was very close to the masjid at that time. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, bro, that was literally it. And then
so you're saying at this point in time, you're fully all in. You're practicing. You know what I mean?
You're trying to practice.
Masjid, learning your deen, learning everything. Yeah. So I kind of want to get on to now. One of your close friends, Mark Duggan, when he was that incident when he was killed by the police, kind of thing. Can you talk us through that, where you were at in your stage in life, when you found out the news, how you reacted?
Yeah, so at that time, it was around Ramadan, and I think it was actually in itikaf, if I remember well. And I remember being itikaf, and I remember getting a phone call from my cousin, and he said to me basically, Mark's been in a shootout with the police. So I'm thinking to myself, Mark, like no way. Like I know Mark, and I know anyone from the roads. You understand? That's like you're signing your death. You don't have shootouts with the police. You understand what I'm saying to you? Like just, you understand what I'm saying to you? If you're trying to get away, that's different, and you're trying to scare them away. But to be like having a shootout with the police, that's a madness. Yeah. Like you're rubbing yourself out. So I was like, no, that don't sound correct. So I remember like calling a couple people to find out what happened. I called his brother. His brother's crying on the phone. So I think to myself, what's going on? So anyway, like I end up calling someone to bring me to the estate.
So you left it itikaf?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've this is just before breaking fast as well, you understand? So someone's picked me up, I've gone to the estate, I see everyone like quiet, crying and stuff like that. So I think, like, what's going on? So they said, oh, like Mark's dead. So he didn't register, like, what do you mean Mark's dead? Like, yeah, like Mark's dead. You get me? His brother's crying and all that. So obviously I hug him, and he's like the older brother to us, Chris, you get me? Like he's like the original older for our estate and our generation. He's come over, he's hugging us, so all three of us are kind of hugging, you get me? But like it's still not registered to me. I think to myself, like, what's going on? Anyway, I still got it in my mind that I have to break my fast. So I got, all right, cool, I'm gonna come back. Jumped in the car, the brother's taking me back to Edmonton Masjid, we broken fast. I think I've come back the evening. No one don't really know what's going on, so I walk over to his mum's house, and his older brother's standing outside, Chadwick. So I goes, yo, like, what's going on, sort of things. He goes, oh yeah, like basically, whatever's happened tomorrow's happened, but his body's still on the scene. So I'm like, what? Can we go there? Yeah. So we've gone there now. This is in Tottenham Hill, so they've got it all cornered off and all that. You get me? And his baby mother's there, Simone. Like she's crying. I think she's there with her mum or her sister or something like that, crying. I'm like, yo, like where's Mark, sort of thing. So she goes, oh, like he's over there, sort of thing. So I remember like just kind of running over there and trying to I run underneath the tape, and I'm running across the bridge to like see it for myself. You understand? So as I'm running over the bridge, like all of the police, like there's like I remember like these two police women, they come running towards me like, oh, like no, it's a crime scene, sort of thing. Like you can't come there, sort of thing. I'm like, oh, like my friend's been killed. I'm like, he's over there. You get me? Like, is he dead? Sort of thing. So like, they looked upset for me. They look upset themselves, and they look upset for me because like when they're answering, it's like they're wanting to cry themselves. You understand? Like basically, like we can't we can't speak on anything. You understand? You get me? But please, get me? Like, you have to leave this area because it's a crime scene sort of thing. So I think to myself, what? So anyway, gone underneath the thing, back out now. It still hasn't registered. You get what I'm saying to you? So the following day now, we've gone back to his mum's house. The following day, or I think the same day, people's gathered at his mum's house and said, yeah, like basically we're gonna go to the police, because bearing in mind, when he got killed, no police had come to his mum's house or got in contact with the family to say that basically he had been killed.
So how did everyone find out?
Through the news and through word of mouth and all that. You understand what I'm saying to you? So even his mum, she said that she remembers watching the news and it come on the news that a young man had been killed in Tottenham, but she's not thinking it's her son.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying to you. So anyway, we've gathered at the house. Obviously his mum's come to realise that obviously it's her son that's been killed, whatever. And yeah, obviously bearing in mind the police still hadn't come to the house to inform his family. So we said we're going to go to the police station the next day to demand answers to why no one hadn't come to the police station. No one hadn't come to his mum's house to inform his mum and to find out what's going on.
Yeah.
Why he'd been killed. So we gathered at the farm, just a normal local community. That was made up of like mothers and children. We've got like some quick placards made up, you get me, like no justice, no peace sort of thing. So we've gone, there couldn't have been no more than like 20, 30 people. We've gone to the police station. Someone's the mother of his kids has gone inside to basically report his death and find out like what's going on. Like they're demanding answers. So they was told basically someone's gonna come and speak to them. Yeah. To just basically patiently wait outside, innit? Yeah. So I think like some good like five hours has gone, like at least a good 5 hours has gone by waiting for someone to come and speak to us. And the officers come outside and basically said the person who's supposed to come and speak to you, like, they can't come to the police station right now. And they've just closed the door and locked the police station. So you've had us out there for 5 hours, like you ain't just to tell us that, you get me, like no explanation, you ain't giving us a chance to ask any more questions, you've just basically just disregarded us. That's what I'm saying to you. So you kind of looked at each other like what now sort of thing, you understand? Everyone's upset, you understand? Like Mark's been killed, we don't know what's going on, we just know that he's been shot by the police. So yeah, man, it just kind of just got out of hand from there. I think we told our mums and our aunties and all that to basically, you not just go home. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So they've gone home now. I remember just, like I mentioned previously, I just remember getting into myself and saying, you know what, like, all right, cool, like, you want to deal with us like this, I'm going to give you like a real reason to come and kill someone or whatever, you understand what I'm saying to you? So I remember like just telling these little youngsters, man, like, I kind of tried to just do something so crazy that when I think back on it now, like it was just, I'm just barely thinking out of emotions, you understand? I'm not really thinking, I'm not really being myself, you understand? But obviously they've just killed like my close friend, you get me, like my best friend, you understand? So it's like I said, I've gone into myself, tried to get these two innocent youngsters that are from the area to pretend like they're fighting on this police car. Cause there was Tottenham was playing that day, so you had a lot of police doing like crowd control and moving the crowd through the streets and whatever. Okay, so I said to myself, before I leave the high road, I'm just gonna mash up an officer quickly. You understand what I'm saying to you? This is just, like I said, you get me, like I'm not thinking straight, you understand? It's just, I'm just acting off emotion. Yeah. So I've tried to orchestrate this and it just, obviously it didn't go to plan. But anyway, the police has cleared the streets, but the police car was left on their police cars was abandoned and stuff like that. So we end up mashing up the police car, pushing it into the road. But obviously we want a reaction from the police. Yeah. But we ain't getting no reaction. So remember,
even though there was a big police presence, you're saying you didn't get any.
No,
reaction.
But by this time, because obviously by this time now, like the crowd started to build up, And a lot of people started to see that what's going on with these people outside the police station. And then when everyone's finding out, and there's obviously word of mouth, calls are being made, you understand? So a lot of people started gathering on the high road, you understand, because of what's happened to Mark. Like I said, the police, I'm assuming the police were told to clear the streets because they could see that tension is rising. So anyway, we ended up mashing up a police car, pushing it in the road just to get the reaction. We done. There was another car there. We done that to the same car, and then no reaction. So obviously the youngsters that are there, they're thinking, what? So they've basically turned to the shops. I started trying to like rob all the shops and, you know, doing what we're doing. So obviously some of the elders, we've kind of grabbed them. I said, no, this is not what we're trying to do here. You understand what I mean? Like, behave yourself sort of thing. It's in me. So I kind of got the youngsters under control. But then it just got to a point where you couldn't control everyone no more, and it just turned into a madness. Just turned into a madness.
And that's what I wanted to ask you, my bro, because obviously I've watched the documentary you and your boy made about what happened in the situation, and the police tried to pin you as being the person who started the Tottenham Riots, basically. Like you caused it, which from their point of view, I can kind of see what they're trying to say. Obviously, I know for a fact that you probably didn't expect it to get as big as it ended up becoming. Like, talk me through that.
And even them saying that as well, that I started the riots. Nah, man, they started it for two reasons. one, because they shot Mark.
Yes.
Two, they didn't come to the police station when they said they was going to come.
Yeah.
And speak to the family. Like, we're not animals.
Yeah.
We didn't come out there to like fight. Understand the game, or even to have any form of riots. You get what I'm saying, bro? It's just, we came out there to like try and get some answers. We got disregarded, and out of frustration, things just escalated the way it's escalated. You understand what I'm saying to you? Like, we're not experts at this stuff. We don't have people die. I mean, bearing in mind, you understand, like, we've had a lot of people die from Tottenham. You understand what I'm saying to you? Like, we had Cynthia Jarrett, Joy Gardner, Roger Stilfester, and then Mark was like the fourth person. But not every single...
At the hands of the police.
By the hands of the police, but it was only Cynthia Jarrett's death where there was a riot after it. Like, the other two deaths after that, like, there were no riots. So it's not like every time there's a death, you get when there's a riot. Understand? So, like, we never necessarily came out to do any of that, bro. You understand? But like I said, out of frustration and disregard.
Yeah.
Understand? And things just end up turning out the way they did. You understand? And plus, to get me that, the community was just tired, bro. Like, the police you're just abusing your authority. And it's not just, and I think it escalated the way it did throughout London or just UK in general. Because there was a lot of youngsters that could relate to Mark. And there's a lot of communities that could relate to our community. You understand what I'm saying to you? Like, kids are just being harassed because of what area they're from or how they're dressed. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying to you, bro? You get what I'm saying? And it's just, we're just tired, bro. It's like the straw that brought the camel's back for everyone in UK. You understand? That's why everyone took it personal and things escalated the way it did.
And obviously, I feel you when you say, like, bottom line is they started the riots.
Yeah, bro.
But obviously, they will never
hold
themselves accountable.
Yeah,
they will never pin it on them. So obviously, they're trying to look for, okay, who caused the first bit of damage, this and that. Okay, it's him. He must start. They're trying to pass the blame to you, basically. But I think you're spot on when you say, look, obviously, when there's no justice, you know, when it's one rule for the police and another rule for us.
And that's what I'm saying to you.
Yeah, that
you're
is
gonna get frustration, bro. Yeah, man. So yeah, bro.
So when it spiraled, my bro, like, talk me through what you was going through at the time, kind of thing, from how, you know, you just acted out of frustration to then it boiling over, not just in Tottenham, but like you're saying, around the country, man. So you
see, growing up in Tottenham, like I said, because our area had an infamous reputation for the riots in '85.
Yeah.
So there was always like a police presence on our estate. And like, there'll be times, you get me, like when I'm walking with my family, or, you know, like I'm seeing other families walking, going by their business on the estate, and police just harassing them, you understand, pulling them up, you know, like searching them, going through their shopping bags, pulling their shopping out all over the floor, searching them. You got little kids with you. I've been there. You understand? Like where my dad's been searched and I've been made to like stand on the side. You understand? You get me, like by myself while you got a bag of man around. My dad searching them and all that. So obviously, growing up with that stigma, you get me. You just had this hate and dislike for the police. You understand? Obviously, because they lost one of their colleagues on the estate, they also had a hate for the community. You understand? But like, you're just harassing innocent people. You understand what I'm saying to you? And it's just been like this ongoing feud between the community and the police. You get me? Like forever, bro. You understand what I'm saying to you? So yeah, man, it's been tough growing up in Borderhood Farm, man. In Tottenham in general, bro. Yeah. Understand what I'm saying to you? It's been tough, man. Trust me. But alhamdulillah, this is why, you know, when I was introduced to Islam, I started really learning Islam for what Islam was. You understand? According to the Quran and Sunnah, it's like a breath of fresh air, bro.
Because like you're saying, and even going towards all the earlier problems we're talking about, you know, how police handle the community and how, you know, certain stigmas with an area can cause the younger generation to come out worse. It reminds me of a verse in the Quran where it says, Islam came to bring mankind out of darkness into light. You know what I'm saying? So all these problems that we see all with society, with youngers, with justice, like when you really understand Islam, you really understand that is the only solution.
Yeah, facts.
That is the solution from the Creator.
Facts.
Mankind. When mankind tries to make our own rules and make our own judgments,
it's chaos.
That's where you get chaos. That's where you get injustice and darkness. Alhamdulillah,
you get me, like, and I'm a testimony, bro. You get me? Because I would have probably classed myself to be from amongst the worst of people from my era at once upon a time. You understand what I'm saying to you? And Islam totally changed my life, bro. You understand? Like a 360, bro. You understand what I'm saying to you? I'm going to work now, you know, I'm married. You know, like everything is just different. Yeah, understand? Yeah. And I hold my head high, and I'm in the same community where I was doing certain things, but I'm just a totally different person now. And I'm confident, like I said, you get me, like I'm not shy of who I am. And I'm just happy and content, bro. You get me? Like I finish work, I go to the masjid for the remainders of the salah that's still available for me to attend. And I'm just cool, just living my life just simple, bro. You understand what I'm saying to you? And alhamdulillah, there's a lot of reverts that are coming to Islam. You know, like when I was growing up, we never really knew nothing about Islam or there being Muslims. But now a lot of areas, like whether Edmonton, Tottenham, Brixton, you've got a lot of Muslims, you understand? And especially a lot of men coming from the streets to get me that are becoming Muslim, alhamdulillah. And it's good. Because like I said, when I was growing up, you understand, like the thing was to be like the bad man of the area. Yeah. Where now, alhamdulillah, you understand, hopefully with the dawah, you understand, you get me, and ex-road man coming to Islam and us practicing and making it cool to be Muslim, you understand? Inshallah, you get me, like it brings these youngsters to Islam, you get me? It changes the narrative about in order for you to have respect or, you know, be someone recognized, you have to be a rude boy. No, man, you have to just be yourself, you understand?
Be a man.
You get what I'm saying to you, bro?
I feel you, my bro.
And inshallah become Muslim, you get me? Because this is where real honor and respect and real love is, you understand what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
Like any love, like so when I came to Islam, you get me, I saw that the love that I thought was love, you understand, wasn't really love, you understand? Love is you and your brother like practicing together, like, eating together. Like one of the things that captured me when I first came to Islam is when, you know, like when I first attended the masjid and brothers would sit down and eat together like on one big like tray. I remember when like they would prepare these foods, you get me, and they'll say like, come, you understand? And at first I think like, this is ajib. But then when you actually sit down with brothers and you're all eating together and you're reasoning, you're thinking, mashallah, this is proper nice. Like man are genuine, you understand? Like man ain't out to try and get something coffee. It's like it was just beautiful, actually, man. And like I said, a lot of these kids, they're looking for love and they're looking for respect and all of these loyalty and all this stuff in the streets.
Wrong places.
And all of what you're looking for is in Islam, bro. Alhamdulillah, you understand what I'm saying to you? And
you're right, man. Like the brotherhood in Islam is something that you can't really explain until you're in it. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're in it, because
I'm telling you,
some people can be thinking, what are you talking about, eating hands, like everyone gathered together? But there's just a certain atmosphere and there's just a certain beauty in just being around brothers that, like you said, they just love you for the sake of Allah. They don't love you because they want something in return or whatever.
Exactly.
Like it's genuine, like
Exactly.
it's pure kind of thing, man.
And just the way the Muslims look out for each other, you know, like I think recently, like there was a sister that became a widow, and you know she got this like about 5 children, and like the community raised money for her. Understand, you get me, like, and obviously gave it to her in order for her to support her family and stuff like that. But this is the sort of stuff that Islam, that they give charity, you understand, and they give for the sake of Allah. You understand what I'm saying to you? And it's just beautiful, Aki, man. It's just beautiful, bro, man.
I think like what you're saying, man, we just now growing older, we have to try and be a positive impact on society and the community rather than a negative.
Yeah, you understand what I'm saying to you, man. So
I just want to finish up on like post the riots, and then there's 2 questions I normally ask towards the end.
Yeah.
But you see like the aftermath of what happened after that situation. I know in the documentary you got charged, they tried to send you to prison and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Talk us through that, and even just before that, you know, because you were practicing, you know what I mean? But then when a real life situation like that, your friend was murdered, you know, talk us through how it affected you, and how, looking back, would you have done anything differently, or that's just something that you can't even prepare yourself for when something like that happens?
I don't think I would have done anything different, because the way everything happened, it led to something good. Because obviously when I went to prison, and it sounds like, it may sound cheap to some people, but it was basically like a time to myself that I kind of needed, you know, like a disconnect from society.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, Aki, man, wallahi, bro, it was like one of the best times of my life being in prison, bro. Understand? Because like I said, I got to learn more about myself. I got closer with my Lord, and it made me grow up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying to you? Because when I was on the roads, even though like I was of an age, I was still willing to be a part of certain things. And when I went to prison and I saw how easy the prison system was in terms of things you can get away with, and so I said to myself, nah, man, I need to come out and try and do something to prevent kids from coming to prison.
Yeah.
Because it's easy in there, bro. Like, man don't have their phones, man don't have their substances.
Or would you say it's easy for everyone, or people with a certain level of respect or from a certain background?
It's easy, bro, man.
Yeah.
It's easy, man. You understand? Like, you go in there, you get paid money, not no big money, but you get paid an allowance. You got your phones in there. But then you're right. You get maybe for some people it's difficult, but for some it was easy. Like for me, it was easy, bro.
Yeah.
I said to myself, this is the reasons why kids don't mind coming in and out of prison, because you do whatever you do on society, you get hit with a charge. You think, mine, I'll do that. I'll do that sitting on the toilet. Yeah. Once you're in jail, you got your phone, so you're still on Instagram, you're still on YouTube, you're still here, you're still there, you're still connected. A lot of people can make money in jail and certain little things like that. So there's no rule, like nothing doesn't really change except for the environment, because you're not on a road, but you're in prison, but you're still able to make money, still able to do certain things. You just can't be with your gal, for instance, or you can't be around your family, but certain things still happens. Yeah. So they don't really know. It's not really a punishment per se. You understand what I'm saying to you? So that's why when I was in jail, I said to myself, I want to come out. I kind of reach out to these kids and make them know, look, this whole road thing, man, it's just a lie, man. You understand what I'm saying to you? And just try and find a way to give back to the community. Because like I said, it's oldest like us that these little youngsters were looking up to and aspiring to be like. But now that we've changed and we've stepped away from the roads, we've still left the streets we've still left the streets messy. Yeah. Understand? So it's only right that we get back into the streets and clean up that mess. It's not going to be easy, but you know, it has to be done, bro. I believe it's upon us. You understand? You get me, like to sort out this mess, bro.
Of course. And is there any incentives or any projects that you're working on, or anything at the moment that you would like to tell the people about?
Well, there's one that's recently been launched. It's called Firm Roots by a brother named Abdul. May Allah bless him. And the incentive with his project is that basically like he's paying people to come on to the program. So he pays youngsters to come onto the program. So whatever activities you're doing, you have to come and you'll be paid an allowance. And at first he started with like 10 or 11 kids, and by the end of the probation period, I think he had like 50 kids coming there, giving them more money. Understand? And this is basically what's needed. A lot of these kids, they don't necessarily want to be on the streets. Understand? But they need money, and mommy can't necessarily. And when you're coming outside, you're seeing this kid with this, and you're seeing this kid with that, and based on your home situation, mommy can't necessarily afford them £100 Jordans or. You understand what I'm saying to you? But every kid's kind of in competition like that. So everyone wants money. So everyone's willing to do whatever they're willing to do to get that money. So his incentive is, if I can give you this money to steer you away from that mindset of wanting to be on the streets to get that money, then I'm gonna do that. So that's what his program is. And like I said, may Allah bless him and bless his project and make it a means of success, because it's definitely important. And we need more projects like that, you get me? So inshallah, so yeah, so that's one of them that I know of. And there's many more like that, okay? There's many more like that. May Allah bless them all, man.
Cool, my bro, man. It's been deep, man. But there's a couple questions I like to ask before we wrap it up. And the first one is, what advice would you give to any non-Muslims that, you know, may not know about Islam, or they might be curious to look into Islam, but they don't know where to start? What advice would you give them?
To just look into the religion with an open mind. You understand? Like, don't allow society to dictate to you, get me, like what the religion is, because that's their agenda. You understand? Like, they know that this is the truth, but because the truth doesn't work for them, you understand? I.e., it's gonna make them lose money. It's gonna just change. It's gonna just affect a lot of things. You understand? You get me? That work for them. So just look into the religion with an open mind. You understand? And make up your own mind, and not allow society to dictate to you like what Islam is. You get what I'm saying to you? And also, like, I mean, advice to just mankind in general, man, to like be vigilant in protecting your heart, bro. Like, be vigilant in protecting your heart the way you would be vigilant with protecting your child if you was outside with them. You understand? Because like Jibreel alayhi salam, when he came to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and removed his heart from his body and purified it, he done that in order for it to receive Islam, revelation. So as a Muslim, this is where your Islam emanates from. Understand? This is where your Iman emanates from. You get me? So protect your heart, bro. You understand? And like I said, like, be vigilant in what you allow it to consume. You understand? Whether it be what gatherings you're around or what content you're taking in from the internet. Because, like, for instance, social media, this is one of the big destroyers of the heart, bro. Understand what I'm saying to you? So yeah, man, just be vigilant in protecting your heart, man. It's said that if the heart is sound, then the whole body is sound. If the heart is corrupt, then the whole body is corrupt. And you can't want to practice Islam and be on the streets. It just doesn't work, you understand? Like, the heart doesn't have room for like Iman and corruption. It's one or the other.
That was going to be my last question, my bro. Like, what advice would you give to any Muslims, either born or revert, that might be struggling with their deen, or, you know, like you're saying, having one foot into the streets and one foot into Islam? Like, what advice would you give them?
I think it's just down to knowledge, bro, man. Like, just, like, for me, like, you have to be sincere to yourself, innit? And a lot of people, they struggle in different ways, man. But if you're Muslim, Allah has honoured you to be Muslim. Again, this is not an entitlement. Understand? And a lot of people feel like, you know what, I can be Muslim, but I can also, because I'm coming from the streets, get me, like I'm just like this, get me, so I have to do certain things. But nah, man, Allah's guided you to Islam. He can also return you back to being a non-believer, bro. You understand? So just bear in mind that, you know, Islam is not an entitlement, it's an honour. And with that honour comes an ultimate reward. And what's that? Jannah. And with that, if Allah's granted you Jannah, the ultimate reward is that He reveals Himself to you. You understand? And like who doesn't want that? And so if you don't understand that, then you can be in the streets and look at Islam like, oh, like Islam, just Islam. But if you really comprehend that Allah, that I'll be granted Jannah, and then I'll be allowed to see Allah's face, then I think that would help you to step away from certain things that you allow yourself to be involved in. Allah knows best what.
Oh man, appreciate you for coming on the show once again, man.
Love you, bro.
Any final words you want to say to the people? Wrap this up.
I've said enough.
Yeah. Nah, jazakallah.
Barakallahu fi. Wa alaikum salam.